This FedGov Today program is sponsored by Maximus. Welcome back. Defense Department organizations can choose from among 3 solutions now for zero trust implementations, and more will be available by the end of the year. At TechNet Cyber recently, Randy Resnick, the director of the Zero Trust Program Management Office, DoD, says a lot of doubters thought the department might never make it this far.
One of the first things I said was, and you didn't think that we would be able to do this. I was highly confident, but of course I couldn't prove that we could do this, so it was a long journey. At that time, nobody knew how to define ZT. Nobody had a goal for ZT. Nobody knew how to build an infrastructure that delivered an outcome. Nobody knew how to evaluate it. So there were a lot of things that we needed to do as a portfolio office to just create that foundation. But to your question, what DISA did is take a look at our documentation, and they had a hard requirement to protect the, it's called DAFAs, the Defense Agency and Field Activities. And they needed solutions quickly. And they came up with the design, which turned out to be ThunderDome. They've been working on this for close to 3 years. And to their credit, they worked incredibly hard, and they put together, when I say put together, they integrated together probably over 30 individual company products and capabilities into a system that has the zero trust outcome of what we have defined as target or advanced ZT. And in this case, they achieved advanced ZT with all 152 of 152 activities that define it. And it was independently proven that they did. It's a huge achievement. It's not easy to do. It was a tremendous commitment. And there were a lot of naysayers in the community, in and out of the DoD, that was pretty vocal, saying that they couldn't do it. So here we are today. A few months ago, we assessed them. When I say we independently assessed them. So this is not a self-assessment, and they perform fabulously. And it is a solution that anybody in the Department of Defense can take and install. It's not just a DISA solution, it's a DoD solution. And that's one of 2 others that I announced yesterday.
I imagine it's not as simple, though, as just buying some ThunderDome and deploying it. What is the pathway for agencies, for parts of the department between now and fiscal 27 to really implement a zero trust solution?
So after they purchase a solution, one of the 3, let's say in this case for this conversation, ThunderDome, what we declared is that the environment of ThunderDome, the equipment that composes the 30 or so vendors that were integrated together can deliver for you the outcome that we need. What it doesn't do, to which the end user has to do, is they need to firstly figure out where in the infrastructure they're going to install ThunderDome. You can install it in more than one place. You may need more than one ThunderDome for various reasons. You also then have to figure out your users, your applications, and the data that's going to go into the ThunderDome. And it doesn't stop there, because that's where traditional clouds end. With zero trust, you now have to segment the network and do your microsegments, because you want to contain the ability of a user's access to what they're visible to see and not see. And in zero trust, everything is assumed that you're blocked. So you have to overtly almost whitelist or approve what Randy Resnick is allowed to see. And so anything that's not on that list is automatically denied for me, which is unlike what happens today, where it's the complete opposite. I'm allowed to see everything unless you block me. And that's a game that you can never win. So with zero trust, it reverses that game. And so that piece has to happen also. And then lastly, but not leastly, is the hard job of creating the rules and the policies for when I could see data. Maybe I'm not allowed to see things on the weekend. Maybe I'm not allowed to access things overseas. these little nuances that a normal person doesn't think about, but the Department of Defense, being global, thinks about all the time. The adversary is global. They can come at you 24/7. So we want to prevent certain accesses at certain times and allow accesses. So all of that becomes rules and policies. But once you do it, then it's good to go.
Yeah.
So that work has to happen. It's not a one-day thing, but it's certainly not impossible. It's far less difficult than it was to actually evaluate the system itself.
And you've given folks more than 2 years lead time, it looks like.
Plenty of time to do.
Yeah. You mentioned, too, that ThunderDome is not the only game in town. You said, I think, 2 other solutions out there, and you've talked about them here.
Right. So as of today at TechNet, Baltimore, there are 2 other systems that we have independently assessed and evaluated. One of them, which has already been made public, is the Navy Flank Speed system. Flank Speed hit advanced level zero trust as well. That's using a different way to get to zero trust. It's based on certain applications of in the Navy, Microsoft-based. It uses a little bit of Azure, and the configuration of it delivered advanced level zero trust at the highest level of being able to prevent an adversary's ability to exploit. That, I believe, was announced a few months ago. And so not that I had to re-announce it, but I announced it again as part of the success stories. And that could be purchased by anybody in the DoD. It doesn't have to be only a Navy solution, and they could put flank speeds anywhere they want. And the same rules would apply. You might need to buy multiple flank speeds. You have to figure out where in your infrastructure you want to place it. And again, you would have to move your users, your apps, your data, create the rules and policies onto flank speed. And then lastly is Dell Fort Zero. Dell, as a company, developed Fort Zero. That hit target level zero trust. That was assessed and independently concluded about 6 weeks ago. And that achieved target. Same things apply. You could buy multiple Fort Zeros, and you would need to figure out where in your infrastructure, you're going to move your users, apps, data, rules, and policies. So interestingly, these are 3 different ways to implement zero trust. They're not the only 3 ways. We still have things in our pipeline. We are doing these independent assessments between now and the remainder of fiscal 25, which is through September 30th, something on the order of 10 more. Our average in terms of the assessments have been that of the 10, I'm expecting 2 or 3 successes to pop out. So we may very well have 5 successes, 6 successes if we're lucky by the end of September. And that was the whole point of the portfolio office, what we wanted to do. We wanted to accelerate the adoption of zero trust so that the department could procure strong solutions that reduce significantly the risk of the department in having to integrate themselves, which we know has failed in the past. That's what the department has been doing in the past with cybersecurity products and solutions, is they do the integration, and we're not good at integrating. So now we have an integrated product that's essentially almost a turnkey solution. It significantly lowers the risk of not achieving target ZT in time, and instead it makes it much easier to onboard into this environment than it would be if they were starting from scratch.